You're not a roller coaster girl.
No, sir.
Me either.
You're not?
No. No, you see, the thing is, I build the roller coasters. That doesn't mean I have to ride on them.
Stephen King, one of the most prominent modern horror, thriller, and science fiction authors from America. He's written over 50 novels and hundreds of short stories. King is most known for authoring the horror novel It, which focuses on a mysterious, maleficent entity who terrorizes youngsters. He's certainly one of the most successful horror writers whose writings never fail to instill fear, panic, and fright in the minds of the readers. The author, who generally writes under his actual name, previously used to write under the pen name Richard Bachman. Surprisingly, sales of Richard Bachman's books skyrocketed once it was revealed that Bachman was none other than Stephen King himself. King is a prolific author who's won honors including the renowned Bram Stoker Awards. King had a rough upbringing since he was reared by a single mother in terrible socioeconomic conditions. When he was a little child, he witnessed the horrible death of a buddy who was hit and murdered by a train in front of his eyes. This experience may have influenced some of his harsher writings. His first published novel, Carrie, was so successful that it was adapted for cinema and Broadway.
Like they used to.
You force yourself to get going, one sentence, two sentences, three, and little by little, you enter that other world.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is Stephen King, but he's also known as his pen name, Richard Bachman. He was born September 21, 1947 in Portland, Maine, United States, making him 73 at the time of this production. He stands at 193 centimeters tall. Stephen King has reacted to the controversy that arose when he tweeted about not taking diversity into account when selecting films and authors for Oscars. As a writer, I am only permitted to nominate in 3 categories: Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Original Screenplay, the author explained. The subject of diversity as it relates to particular performers and directors did not come up for me. Having said that, I would never contemplate diversity in terms of art. Nothing but the best. To do differently seemed to me would be wrong. Many others, including Ava DuVernay, criticized King's comments. The Oscars continue to be skewed in favor of white people. King responded to the criticism. Discussions about arts and culture, like political debates, have grown increasingly contentious and divided in recent years, says the author of Carrie and The Shining. Belief lines are written with indelible ink, and if you cross them wittingly or unwittingly, you find yourself in the social media equivalent of the stocks, exposed to bombardment of electronic turnips and cabbages. I recently crossed one of those boundaries by posting something on Twitter that I mistook for non-controversial. I would never contemplate diversity in issues of art. Nothing but the best. To do differently, it seemed to me, would be wrong. The topic at hand was the Academy Awards. In essence, I stated that those assessing creative greatness should be oblivious to issues of color, gender, or sexual orientation. I didn't say it today since it couldn't be further from the truth. I also didn't suggest that films, novels, plays, and music that deal with diversity and/or injustice couldn't be works of artistic brilliance, King continues. We don't live in that perfect world, and this year's less than diverse Academy Award nominees illustrate it once more. Perhaps we will someday. Isn't it true that I can fantasize? After all, I make up stories for a living. King also has been actively doing charity work. In 2013, the Bangor Public Library in Maine required $9 million to complete a facility renovation. Founded in the 1880s with $100,000 from the estate of the Honorable Samuel F. Hershey, Maine's then largest library burned down in 1911 before reopening in 1913. Longtime Maine residents and literary fans, King and his wife Tabitha volunteered to pay $3 million of the needed funds out of their own pockets, provided the library could raise the remaining amount on their own. This was not the King's first donation to the Bangor Public Library. The pair previously donated $2.5 million to build a new wing. They also contributed to the restoration of the stone steps going up to the main entrance of the library. During his book tour for the Shining sequel, Dr. Sleep, King came by Ramstein Air Base in Germany in 2013 to read a chapter from the novel to an audience of over 350 soldiers. During his first tour with the USO, King also visited with injured servicemen and individuals suffering from addictions, mentioning his own problems with the latter. King also gave away 400 autographed copies of his latest novel to attendees of his USO event. King and his wife, a novelist, split their time between Florida and Maine. They have 3 children: Naomi Rachel, a minister; Joseph Hillstrom, a famous horror fiction writer in his own right who works under the pen name Joe Hill; and Owen Phillip, whose debut collection of tales was released in 2005.
Well, I finished a novel, and I am letting it marinate a little bit. You have to get away from it a little while.
Stephen King was born in Portland, Maine on September 21, 1947. When Stephen King's father abandoned the family when he was 2 years old, his mother raised him and his sibling. He spent some of his youth in Fort Wayne, Indiana and Stratford, Connecticut. They eventually moved back to Maine to be closer to his maternal grandparents. His interest in literature began at an early age. As a child, he loved reading comic books, but he also had a great interest in horror literature. Stephen King was an admirer of another New England-based novelist, H.P. Lovecraft, who's well known for his fictitious horror novels, and was a source of inspiration for King. Stephen King attended Lisbon Falls High School and graduated in 1966. In Orono, Maine, Stephen King attended the University of Maine. For 3 years, Stephen King contributed to the weekly campus newspaper. Stephen King earned his bachelor's degree in English in 1970. Stephen King was certified to teach at the high school level, but there were few openings at the time. Stephen King worked as a laborer for the first year after graduating from college. Early in his adult life, King worked as a teacher. In 1971, one of his first positions was at Hampton Academy. Stephen King wrote at night and on weekends during his formative years. Before his debut book, Carrie, was released in 1973, Stephen King sold short pieces to men's magazines. After that, he was able to stop teaching and focus solely on writing. Following the popularity of Carrie, Stephen King wrote many more successful books between 1975 and 1986, including Salem's Lot, Cujo, and It. King's novels were not all published under his true name. Under the pen name Richard Bachman, he wrote books such as Rage, Roadwork, and The Running Man. Stephen King was concerned that if an author released too many novels at once, they would not be well accepted by the audience. Because of Stephen King's devotion to writing, he was able to produce a large number of novels over his career. Those stories, however, inspired their adaptations for film and television. The Shining, starring Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, has been a top horror film thriller for over 30 years. Kathy Bates won an Academy Award for Best Actress in 1990 for her performance in Misery. Other films that were inspired by one of his numerous stories, like Shawshank Redemption, garnered nominations and prizes. Stephen King can now add acting to his resume. Stephen King has been known to participate in cameo roles in some of his films. A director is another job title. Stephen King wrote the script and directed the film Maximum Overdrive in 1985.
And go right back into it to either say, this is terrible, or what's even worse, to say, I really wrote a good job. This is great.
King's annual income varies from $15 million to $17 million. Stephen King's net worth is $500 million. Stephen King owns the eye-catching red Victorian-style mansion that features bats, spiders, and a web on its front gates. It's one of the most photographed from the street celebrity homes in America, trailing perhaps only Graceland. Stephen King owns the following cars: a 1958 Plymouth Fury, a Buick 8, and a 1953 Buick Roadmaster.